Okay, guys, I have this brilliant idea. Let's take two rides currently in our park, Full Throttle and Twisted Colossus, and combine them into one and put it in the same park. It's completely foolproof. This is West Coast Racers, the newest coaster coming to Six Flags Magic Mountain in 2019. It is the same manufacturer as Full Throttle. This is Premier Rides, and it is a Möbius dueling coaster like Twisted Colossus. So obviously this is huge for Magic Mountain. We've never really seen a ride exactly like this before, especially not from Premier. And it's kind of a nice mix between an extreme thrill coaster, but also I wouldn't say it's too extreme. The max speed is only 55 miles per hour. So in that sense, it almost kind of blurs the line between thrill coaster and family coaster. I'd say it's definitely more on the thrill side, but it's almost kind of giving me Backlot Stunt Coaster vibes. And I don't know if that was intentional at all, but I think it's going to be quite a nice fit for this park. As you're watching this animation, this is going completely over the old Cyclone Bay area. They're going to completely redo that section, and just look at how they have this ride interacting with the other attractions in the area. It completely goes over the go-kart tracks. It is running right alongside Apocalypse. It is jutted up against the backside of Ninja. You're pretty much going to be able to walk right alongside this thing. This coaster is going to be great eye candy. It is just going to be fun to watch. And I think it's going to be fun to ride. There is one part of this ride I'm not too crazy about, but I'm going to get to that later. I kind of want to walk through the layout first and kind of explain it a bit, because I mentioned it's a Möbius coaster. You're saying, okay, well, they already have Twisted Colossus, so what makes this one different? I'd say one key difference that I see that I think is absolutely an improvement over Twisted Colossus is they found a way to fix the problem of, well, what if it doesn't duel every time? Because Twisted Colossus, if the dispatch is too slow, then you're not going to get a dueling ride, and then that's when Twisted Colossus isn't as good as it normally is. With West Coast Racers, they're fixing that. This is a guaranteed duel every single time. After you traverse one side, you're going to go into the station, but not on the load-unload side like the other train. You're actually going to enter like a pit stop. I like to think of this as kind of like one of those moments that you'd see in a Universal or Disney ride where it stops you, going to show you some theming a bit. They're actually bringing in West Coast Customs to help do this. I wouldn't expect anything too immersive like Disney or Universal level, but I think it'll be nice, at least at first. You know, we'll see how it ages over time, if it continues to stay as nice over the years. But then when the next train is ready to dispatch, you'll then leave the pit stop and you will launch out at the same time. So in that sense, I think it's fantastic the way they fix that. So let's kind of walk through the layout. So you first are going to start off on the silver side. The yellow side you will experience second after the pit stop. The launch goes straight into a high five element. This is previously seen on Twisted Colossus. It's when it gives you the illusion that you can actually reach out and high five the other train. Now looking at the animations, it looks like this isn't going to be as close as you get with the Twisted Colossus trains, but it's still a neat feature. And actually, this means that Magic Mountain is the only park in the world that has two high five elements, and both of these high five elements are the only ones in America, and they're in the same park. Like, just think about that for a second. So following that, you're going to proceed out over the midway. You're going to go through an inversion. They have a total of 4 inversions on West Coast Racers. 3 of them are 0G rolls. 1 is a 0G stall. And you're going to keep banking right, and you're going to notice a lot of banking in this ride. Lots of moments where the coasters are running right alongside each other. I think they said it's a total of 30 different interactions. That's pretty cool. So you're banking right, pass back over towards Apocalypse, and this is actually going to send you into your second launch. And what's kind of cool here is you can sort of see this is actually a backstage area. You can see that they're really squeezing this in between Apocalypse and this fence. So I imagine seeing the second launch area might be a little tricky, but we'll see. They may fix that later. And then both coasters are going to go into a 0G roll immediately after that launch. And this is really when you start passing over that go-kart track, like I mentioned. And this is going to be so cool. I can't even imagine being on the go-karts while the West Coast Racers is flying over you. That'll be so cool. And they did mention that the go-karts are going to receive a retheme, an upgrade. So the whole former Cyclone Bay area really is going to receive a major facelift. So after you glide around the go-kart tracks a bit, you're going to pass back over the midway. Again, like I said, I can't even imagine standing on that midway, looking up and seeing the coaster flying all around you. It'll be so sweet. Even if the coaster ends up sucking, it'll still be beautiful to watch. And then as you reach the end of the course, yellow side passes over silver side, you bank to the right, and that is going to be into the brake run. Silver side is going to turn into yellow side, and you're going to do it all over again. Yellow side will go into the station. Now I mentioned earlier in the video a downside that I'm not too crazy about, and that is actually that this ride does have over-the-shoulder restraints. I'm not too crazy about that, especially since you have Twisted Colossus, which also features inversions in Duels Another Train, that has a lap bar, and there are multiple premier coasters that go upside down that feature a lap bar, so I'm questioning why this has an over-the-shoulder restraint. What exactly the reasoning is they decided to go with that. And I think the fact that this does have an over-the-shoulder restraint will make it like a hit or a miss. It'll be really fun, but the shoulder restraints could take away from it. Overall, I think this ride will be a success, but I'm skeptical. I like how there's lots of bank turns and twisty sections, moments where the trains are running right alongside each other. I think it's going to be super fun, just like Twisted Colossus, you can put some of your friends in the other train and then you're dueling each other. I will say I do think it's good that they made it a Möbius and not two separate coasters, because if you look at just one side and treat it as one coaster, it is a short ride. So I'm glad that they made it a Möbius so that you experience both sides and then it makes it longer. I mean, and the same as with Twisted Colossus. If Twisted Colossus were two separate coasters, then you'd be going off saying, yeah, okay, but it was short. So I do think it was a smart move making it a Möbius. So to just kind of wrap things up, I think this is the coaster not a lot of people were expecting. We knew it was going to be some sort of dueling or racing coaster, but the manufacturer was really up in there. We had a lot of questions about it, but I think this is going to be a big crowd pleaser. I don't think it'll be the best ride at Magic Mountain, but that being said, I think it'll be a nice addition. I think it's really creative how they came up with this layout and fitting it into this space. And much like Twisted Colossus, I think it's just going to be a fun experience. I mean, 14 track crossovers. It really makes you appreciate the designers who put the time in to come up with a crazy layout like this. I love watching dueling coasters, and when they're dueling, it is even more fun to be on them. So I think this is going to be a really cool ride, and I can't wait to experience it one day. So I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on West Coast Racers coming to Six Flags Magic Mountain in 2019? Make sure to post all those thoughts below, and of course stay tuned for more coaster analyses coming soon to Coaster Studios.